Good afternoon, folks, and welcome back. I've been meaning to do this video for a little while. This is just a follow-up to the first impressions video, and that I've had this bike for a couple of months. I've officially ridden it more than I've driven my truck since I got it, so I'm pretty proud of that. I'm not sure how much more, but I burned like a tank in my truck, which is, I don't know, right around 300 miles. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but 904 miles on the clock as of right now. Still really digging it. I'll kind of do this, I guess, the way I did last time. Get the parts I don't care for out of the way. Still don't care for the fork too much. There's just not enough travel, and what is there isn't very supple. You can see kind of by my fingertip how much travel this fork has, which isn't a lot. It does help. I run this front tire at 30 psi, run the rear at 40. That seems to be kind of a sweet spot, but it is a compromise. If I try to corner harder on the front tire, it kind of feels like it's starting to roll a little bit, so I've got to watch that. I'm gonna put another fork on here at some point, I think. I know it's probably gonna change the geometry a little bit, but I'll have a little bit of sag in it, or try to build a little bit of sag in, so you know, maybe it won't change the geometry too much. I guess if I have to, I can always put this one back on. Brakes are still amazing, no complaints about these. I think I do need to bleed the rear already. It's slightly soft, but it still works well. If I pump it once or twice, it gets back to where it needs to be, but I do need to give that a bleed. Let's see what else. Fenders are still holding up pretty well. They do make a little bit of noise, probably because they ride so close to the tires, and you're always picking stuff up, but such is life. Still kind of dig these tires. They're starting to wear. At almost 1,000 miles, I don't know, I guess it looks pretty good. I do a lot of braking on the front to try and kind of offset the rear. The rear is obviously going to wear more because I'm braking and putting power down with it. Headlight still works pretty well, but the you can't see it because I put Tessa tape over it. I did that for a reason. The little markers over here that I guess are supposed to make you more visible to traffic kill my night vision, so I wound up putting Tessa tape over that, and that's kind of an easy fix. A little bit of Tessa tape here to kind of hold these wires in place. Yeah, Tessa tape all over the place really on the Saigo Light 1400. Suffers the same problem as the factory light. You get a little bit of light out here on the sides and it sort of kills your night vision, so put a little bit up here in the front and it took care of that. The Night Rider doesn't have that problem. It just shines straight ahead. All these lights together are kind of ridiculous. Pretty sure they're about as bright as my truck's headlights. I think you could drive with them. So that one's 900 lumens, 1400, because I don't keep them all the way up. I usually run the Night Rider on medium or high and the Saigo Light down on low. Also, a little bit of Tessa tape in here too to keep these from moving around too much. There's another light I've been playing with here. Was it the Saigo Light Zot, which is, I don't know, I think like 400 lumens. Super awesome light. It doesn't weigh anything. You can throw it in your back pocket, or you could wear it as a ring. It's so insignificant in terms of weight, but it's a real, it's one of those things. If you lose your lights for whatever, I usually don't ride with all these. I just ride with this one, and if for whatever reason I run it down, And I did yesterday morning because I did kind of a long ride before work. You know, it's nice to have that backup. Let's see, coming back a little bit, shifter's still great. Kick that off. Oh, I put the new bar and stem on here. The factory bar and stem are just too narrow, and this one, when I put it on, I think it's about 780 or so. When I put it on, it felt weird. That went away after, I don't know, 5 minutes. It felt like home, and now it's just perfect. I wouldn't go back. I still dig these grips, although they're really sensitive to position, like just 1 degree, and it feels way off. And the way I found that out is the saddle was slowly moving on me. Even though I had the bolt a little bit tighter than you're supposed to get it, it was still moving. So I took a little bit of carbon paste, friction paste, put that in there, and that took care of the problem. The stock pedals were cooked at around 150 miles or so. They just had some play in them, so I put on my favorite Swellgo MG1s. Let's see, what else down here? Nothing really. The ABUS lock has been pretty good, the folding lock. I'm not sure if somebody tried to, was it REI the other day, and I came out and it was all turned all crazy in different directions. Almost seemed like somebody was fiddling with it, and now so you can turn all these little things individually. So I got to run that back to the shop and see if it's supposed to be like that. I measured the chain last night, so at about 900 miles, it's still not stretched enough to show up on the stretchometer. Rear tire, I think I'm gonna get a couple hundred more miles out of it, and it's gonna be cooked. It's I don't like to run tires all the way bare, so yeah, maybe 1,000 miles. I'm gonna throw another one on there. I may put on a completely different set. I'll maybe do another video if I do that. Let's see what else. Coming around to the other side here. I haven't put anything on this rack yet. I haven't found a suitable bag. I did buy some panniers from Basil that I've thrown on a couple of times, but I haven't even taken it for a ride. I haven't even really needed to. I've just kind of been throwing everything in that backpack. I don't ride with a backpack often, but when I go to work, you know, I throw some clothes and stuff in there. That's about as much as I've ever had in that backpack. This little rear bag has been great for extra water or gloves if I'm taking, you know, a pair of gloves. If I'm starting early in the morning, gotta wear warm gloves. I'll put the other ones in here and trade them out. So, you know, it's good for at least a couple of things there. Let's see what else. The tail light is still fine, no issues there. Need to get in there and check the rear pads. That may be part of the problem, or part of the reason that I have play back there. Still really digging the derailleur guard. I've banged this on a few things, and I've been glad that it was there, because all this extra weight, when I wind up picking it up, I wind up kind of slinging it into stuff like bike racks and whatnot. So it's good that that's not getting banged around. Let's see. I can't think of too much else, really. It's just, you know, it's been pretty solid. The only thing that's bugging me is the fork. Battery life's been great. I still ride in eco mode most of the time, getting about, I can ride for 8 hours and still have somewhere under 2 bars left. It's showing 2 bars, but that's probably between 1.5 and 2, and that's 60, 70, 80 miles, kind of depending on what I'm doing. Going to work, I tend to ride it in a higher assist mode, you know, either touring or sport. And you know, just to get there a little bit faster. I don't want to get there all stinky, but I can still ride this thing all day, and you know, I'll wear out before it does. Even with that saddle, I can sit on this thing for 7 or 8 hours, and it's not a big deal. Yeah, I think that's about it. Just wanted to kind of do a follow-up video. I think I'm gonna do one with, you know, all the stuff I have in here too, just for giggles, because why not? And anyway, thanks for riding along, and we'll see you next time.